Cameron Christie, best fits for Tretter. Dolphins would be awesome. Minnesota Vikings would be a fun fit if you don't trust Garrett Bradbury. Cowboys could be an option as well, but if you run a zone blocking scheme on offense, pick up JC Tretter. All right, Travis Baker, what teams are fits for Dont'a Hightower? Lots of them. I think any team that runs a variation of that Patriot-style defense, right? Including the Patriots themselves. I know producer Jack desperately wants him to return to New England. Tennessee didn't really add any linebackers. It's out of a late-round pick from Chance Campbell. Hightower could be a fun fit there. Miami's not in desperate need of any linebackers either after they drafted Channing Tindall, but I feel like Hightower's a better version of a Landon Roberts, so, bring him in. Denver didn't do much at inside linebacker. The Ravens could have some fun on that standpoint, too. Hightower being unsigned is interesting. I don't think he's as well regarded as he once was, but he can still help your football team. So when it comes to Dont'a Hightower, one of the more under-the-radar linebackers who are in free agency, where do you think he ends up signing? Make your prediction for me right now in the comments section. From Evan Hinders, Skylar Thompson will be like Taysom Hill this year and get 4 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing TDs, 3 receiving TDs. That's all fine and dandy. I think the issue you're going to run into is that Skylar Thompson's injuries have very much begun to add up over the years. When Hill came out of BYU, he was a premier athlete. He was really good at making big-time plays and being that top-end athlete. Skylar Thompson, I think those injuries have added up. He's not the level of athlete that Taysom Hill is. By the way, I am begging teams to stop trying to find the next Taysom Hill. That's not that valuable of a spot, to be honest. The last one was Tommy Stevens, and we know how that went, right? From Case Keenum, who will sign Jadeveon Clowney? I'm going to guess the Browns are the one that bring him back, given all the links to as a reunion there, and edge is still an area of need for the Cleveland Browns. If it's not Cleveland, some other teams you could always keep an eye out for, right? How about the Miami Dolphins? They have tried to get Clowney for a long time. Maybe this is the year. I somehow doubt it from that standpoint. The Baltimore Ravens, they tried to get to Darius Smith. They missed. They did draft David Ojabo in round 2, but he's not going to play this year, I don't think. So there's your short-term answer. The Rams got to replace Von Miller. If Clowney wants to go ring chasing, LA is a pretty great spot for it. The Atlanta Falcons, I would be a bit surprised, but from a need perspective, I mean, Clowney's better than Lorenzo Carter. Having Carter as edge 3 with Ebiketie as edge 2 and Clowney as edge 1 is a lot better than what they had last year. And I'll just mention the Philadelphia Eagles. They love to get aggressive if they can. More of a dark horse contender from that standpoint. But Philadelphia could be fun for Clowney, given how much they like to add sometimes veteran options. Those are my guesses. I want to hear from you now. Where do you think Clowney will play in 2022? This question is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. From Jim Panson, 84, which day 3 pick do you think could have an immediate impact? So there are going to be a lot of guys on day 3 that step up and play a big-time role early. I think the first 3 picks of day 3, right? Cade Otton to the Bucks, Dameon Pierce to the Texans, Perion Winfrey. All those guys could step up sooner rather than later. Looking through my list here as well, I like Neil Farrell a lot. The Charlie Kohler pick I like. Technically, your kickers and punters can make a big impact, but I hate that. Calvin Austin to the Steelers. I really like that pick up in the 4th round as well. We mentioned Tyler Algier of the Falcons earlier in today's live show. He's a good fit as an early impact type of player. Those skill position players also often make their impact felt kind of quickly. I thought Jamari Salyer to the Chargers was a steal later on in the draft. That's another one in terms of offensive line play who could make a nice impact for you. For live shows, NFL news, rumors, and more, all season and off-season long, you've come to the right spot. Hit that big red button and subscribe at youtube.com/chatsportstv. From Oliver Sandy, where will Akiem Hicks sign? Good question. The Dolphins had been linked pretty recently as part of a visit/meeting, workout, whichever it ended up being. I don't think they're the only potential destination. Hicks is best as a 3-4 defensive lineman, so these teams will run 3-4 fronts, so some teams I think you should keep in mind. The Minnesota Vikings, I think, are a great second fit beyond your favorites in Miami. If you want to try them at nose guard, Tennessee could work. The Rams, if he wants to be a ring chaser and your fourth defensive lineman. And dark horse here, the Pittsburgh Steelers could also make some sense as a fit for Akiem Hicks if they want some added depth that's not named Tyson Alualu on that defensive line. I want you to name a sleeper free agent left on the market. The big names, for the most part, are off the board. Of course, Clowney, OBJ, still out there. A sleeper name who could be a gem for you as we enter May. Drop a name or names if you want to be an overachiever for me in the comments right now. From Oh My Lord, who will be the first quarterback drafted next? I assume you mean year. It is way too early, and we will do some way too early mock drafts. It would be an early two-team race, I think. Two-player race. Bryce Young, the Alabama quarterback, and C.J. Stroud, the Ohio State QB. Hey, maybe Spencer Rattler actually is decent under pressure next year, but these are the early favorites in what appears to be a better class than what we had this year. I say appears to be because there's an entire year of college football to be played. Changes happen. It's not by any means a locked and loaded thing. Who do you think goes first of these two? BY for Bryce Young or CJ for CJ Stroud? From Pablo, who had the best draft? The ones that I like the most, the Baltimore Ravens, I thought crushed it this year. I thought Philadelphia did a fantastic job as well. And I also thought that the Chiefs did. Those three teams in particular, amongst several others, all did a really good job. From James Heiner, what do you think will be the most intriguing quarterback battles once camp starts? Great questions. Question, I should say. Steelers jumps out with Mitchell Trubisky against Kenny Pickett. Beyond that, things are mostly settled. The Falcons, Desmond Ridder, Marcus Mariota, another good one. Whatever happens in Carolina feels like one. They can't enter the year with just Darnold and Ridder, right? They got to add, or Darnold and Corral. They got to add somebody else in there. The Niners, if they keep Jimmy G, I guess that could be a competition. And whatever's going to happen in Seattle, Drew Lock, Geno Smith, and I hope a third QB also makes sense. DCX Viper, who are your top prospects for the 2023 NFL Draft? I won't go too far in depth. We will eventually do a way too early 2023 class. Jackson Smith in no order. Jackson Smith in Jigba, the next great Ohio State wide receiver. Michael Mayer, tight end from Notre Dame. Clemson's got some good defensive ends. C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Jalen Carter from Georgia, and the number one guy right now, that is Will Anderson, the edge rusher out of Alabama. He would have been the consensus number one pick this year had he been draft eligible.